Tonight, the military arrives in Alberta as more details emerge about the wildfire destruction in Jasper. Troops prepare to enter the town site.
Everything we can do to help, we're ready to do that.
Officials tally the total loss, with some parts of the community burned beyond recognition. Canada stripped of 6 points in Olympic soccer over a drone spying scandal.
6 points is incredibly harsh. It's essentially a disqualification without calling it a disqualification.
The FIFA ruling on the first day of competition.
As Canadian, I was disappointed. Yes, it took some hard decision, and now let's turn the page.
Plus, the U.S. Justice Department goes after TikTok.
The fear is that this is intelligence gathering, data gathering that could be weaponized.
Why officials are calling the social media platform a security threat.
CTV National News with Heather Butts.
Good evening. More help has arrived to support crews in the aftermath of the raging wildfire that ripped through Jasper. Military troops are stationed in nearby Hinton, preparing to move into the town site tomorrow as we learn more about the historic fire.
This fire is the largest one that Jasper National Park has recorded in the last 100 years. We're going to be working on this wildfire, we expect, over the next 3 months at least.
As firefighters try to contain the flames burning out of control in the once pristine national park, evacuees are waiting anxiously for word on what's next. CTV's Andrew Johnson starts us off again tonight.
3 days after a wall of fire rendered parts of Jasper unrecognizable, officials have confirmed the smoldering town is still not fit for any kind of return.
The town site is not safe. We are still very early in our recovery process. The chemicals released by structural fire are a serious risk to health.
More than 350 buildings burned, most on the west side of town. Entire neighborhoods have been lost. The homes in red on a map released by the municipality no longer exist. The new stunning reality.
The community is really strong and resilient. It's tough times. It's really tough times. Whether you have a home standing or not, survivor's guilt is a thing. Why is my house here and yours isn't?
Near town, the massive out-of-control fire rain and cooler weather helped calm down is still burning, and maybe for months. 25,000 people were evacuated from the national park on Monday. Parks Canada officials say until firefighters can get a better handle on the fire, the park will remain closed.
Jasper National Park has nationally significant critical infrastructure, the TMX pipeline, we have CN Rail, we have Highway 16.
Close to 100 soldiers are now in nearby Hinton, ready to be sent into the Jasper disaster zone. They're here from Manitoba and will help out firefighters with the mountain of work still to be done to make Jasper safe.
Folks join the Canadian Armed Forces to do this type of work, to respond to domestic emergencies. Everything we can do to help, we're really, really ready to do that.
While so many people pour so much of their time and effort into the aftermath of the emergency, a much larger group, evacuees, can't do much of anything right now except wait. Their immediate future out of their hands.
It comes in waves, and to tell them that, especially my kids, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to let tears flow, it's okay to feel frustrated, angry. Just try to make sure you're breathing.
This is the largest fire within Jasper National Park in more than a century. And whether we're talking financially, environmentally, or the emotional toll, it may not be clear for months just how much damage it has done. Heather.
Andrew, thanks. The pain for people is evident in Hinton, where many of the evacuees have taken shelter. The community offering support to those who have lost everything. CTV's Kathy Lee has that story.
What is usually a place to get away from the city is now home for Carl Charlong for now.
It's not easy. I feel I'm handling it quite well.
Like the thousands of people who fled Jasper from a threatening wildfire Monday night, Charlong has had to find shelter somewhere.
I'm going to just take it a day at a time.
This campsite in Hinton, about an hour from Jasper, opened up its grounds to evacuees for free.
We don't have all the amenities that the big campgrounds do, but it's just a place for them to feel at home. And I feel so bad for them. Sorry. It hurts so hard. You know, they need the support of everyone.
The support available all over the town, from signs of encouragement to free meals at several restaurants.
To help people like that, and they're doing it automatically, and it's just wonderful.
The generosity also for the emergency support team.
It's a good hearty meal that will stick to their bones.
The Salvation Army making enough chili for 120 people.
I know that they're busy when we're supporting we're support role. If we're not feeding, they're not able to do their job.
Because the job is tough. At Ground Zero, firefighters dousing out hot spots and many destroyed buildings smoldering as a wildfire rages out of control nearby. Charlong grateful for those on the front lines. His home seems to be intact, but
we don't want to get overexcited because we know there could be water damage and smoke damage. I feel anxious about returning. I mean, it is our home and people are in need.
As difficult as this situation has been, Charlong says when he gets back to town, he is ready to help others and pay it forward. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Hinton, Alberta.
South of the border, crews are racing to contain a massive wildfire burning out of control in Northern California. It exploded in size overnight. As wildfires intensify, climate experts are calling for a stronger strategy to deal with these disasters. CTV's Kamal Kramali reports.
Flames towering several meters high, engulfing vehicles, homes, and everything else in its path. The wildfire just north of Sacramento, California, exploding in size Friday night. The Park Fire, by far the largest of all the wildfires burning across California, all of them consuming nearly 500,000 acres, more than 3 times the city of Toronto. In Oregon, more than 1 million acres burned in a disastrous start to the wildfire season. Further north in BC, nearly 400 out-of-control fires burning, including 5 that are threatening nearby cities and homes.
We have burned more hectares in British Columbia in the last 8 years than in the previous 6 or 7 decades.
One of them raging dangerously close to Kamloops. Another near the Alberta border where residents were forced to flee.
I've never seen fire like that move so quickly in all of my life.
All the while, around the world, temperatures skyrocketed.
It is really hot right now.
Shattering records, the concern here across Canada is how to better respond to what will likely become the inevitable.
All of the vegetation, all of the forests are becoming more and more susceptible to fire.
Natural disasters threatening our homes.
There's a lot of confusion, a lot of lack of coordination.
Climate experts say a better, more streamlined process is needed, an official located in each city.
There should be someone in charge of this file who has worked out well ahead of time what actions will be taken in preparedness for these events.
To communicate across all levels of government to brace for the worst. Kamal Kramali, CTV News, Toronto.
One of Canada's best medal hopefuls made her first big splash onto the podium, capturing the nation's first medal on day 1 of the Summer Olympics. Summer McIntosh, the 17-year-old swimming sensation, won the silver medal in the women's 400-meter freestyle event. A bright light in the pool comes on another dark day for Soccer Canada. More fallout from the drone spying scandal. FIFA handed down tough punishment that could have major repercussions. CTV's Jean-Vier Boschman is in Paris tonight.
Canada's quest for Olympic glory was dealt a major blow today. FIFA fast-tracked its own disciplinary process and imposed tough sanctions on Canada Soccer for using drones to spy on its rivals. 6 points docked from the team's rankings at the Olympics. 3 staff members, including head coach Bev Priestman, banned from all soccer for a year, and a $226,000 fine for the Canadian Soccer Federation. The punishment severely hurts the 2021 Olympic champions' chances for a podium this time.
And 6 points is incredibly harsh just because, of course, now it puts Canada, it makes it almost impossible for them to get out the group. It's essentially a disqualification without calling it a disqualification.
Canada Soccer said in a statement tonight that it was exploring options to appeal on the basis that this is excessively punitive towards our women's national team, who were not involved in any unethical behavior.
You know, we're talking about the Olympics here, so it's going to have a major impact, but it's just very important that they stay together and hopefully they find a way to get through it and focus.
Just this morning, Team Canada's chef de mission, Bruni Surin, was hoping to turn the focus away from the scandal.
As Canadian, I was disappointed, yes. And now with the Canadian Olympic Committee, they had sanctioned. We took some hard decisions and we took them. And now let's turn the page. Like tonight, I'm going to go to the swimming.
And in swimming, proving a very popular sport in Paris, Canada is already shining. Silver medal winning phenom Summer McIntosh's talent praised by the parents of a U.S. swimming rival, Katie Grimes.
They've competed against each other and they will continue to compete against each other for many years, which is exciting for both our countries to watch really 2 exceptional swimmers go after it. So it's wonderful.
But as Paris packed up the opening ceremony gear today, and said goodbye to Céline Dion after her Olympic performance to turn to the athletes' performances, Canada's reputation is taking a hit.
The legacies that this has tainted, the careers that this has ended, and the damage that this has caused on women's soccer in Canada is significant.
If an appeal does proceed, it could be held right here in Paris at a special emergency court of arbitration in sports set up for the Olympics. Heather.
Jean-Pierre Bushman in Paris tonight. The race for the White House is heating up after a historic week. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump both out on a campaign blitz. CTV's Jeremy Sharon takes a look at how Canadians are reacting to the race so far.
As both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris spend the weekend on the campaign trail trading shots.
We have a country to run. The problem is that Kamala is worse than Joe. She's worse. She's a radical left lunatic.
Donald Trump intends to take our country backward. Just look at his Project 2025 agenda.
A new poll out this week shows Canadians are clear on who they don't want to see in the White House.
There is a tremendous amount of anxiety and dread about the prospects of a second Trump administration.
Polling data from the Angus Reid Institute shows 2/3 of Canadians who were asked believe a Trump administration would be bad or terrible news for Canada, while less than 1/6 think it would be good or excellent.
Liberal voters, NDP voters, Bloc voters are near unanimous in saying, look, this is going to be not very good. Conservative voters most likely to see the sunniest side to this.
A clear message from Canadians on the direction they'd rather not see in a race for the White House that has quickly heated back up.
Well, we really are looking at a 50-50 contest right now in terms of this presidential election.
Most American polls are now indicating a virtual tie between Republican nominee Donald Trump and likely Democratic nominee Kamala Harris.
What Vice President Harris has been able to do is change the narrative. It's a reset for the Democrats. And one of the things that you've really noticed from the vice president this week is a much more aggressive tone with respect to the Republicans.
Campaign momentum, which had been favoring Republicans for weeks, appears to have shifted to the Democrats.
Momentum that is coming in the form of financial support, too. The Harris campaign raised more than $100 million in the first 48 hours after President Joe Biden stepped down. A passing of the baton the Democrats are hoping will redefine the campaign. Heather?
All right, Jeremy, thanks. Overseas now, and a deadly attack on Israeli citizens. At least 11 people, including children and teenagers, were killed after a rocket strike on a soccer field in Israeli-controlled Golan This is the rocket the IDF says struck the soccer field, blaming Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, which denies responsibility. This is the deadliest strike on Israel since the October 7th attacks. It immediately spiked tensions at the northern border with Lebanon, where the IDF and Hezbollah have been trading fire daily. In Gaza, at least 30 people were killed in an Israeli strike at a girls' school sheltering displaced Palestinians. This all comes just one day before ceasefire negotiations are set to resume. Coming up, the clock's ticking for TikTok.
It could be weaponized against members of the public.
Renewed calls to ban the popular app over how it collects user data. Plus, a blast from the past for a father and son. A fresh blow for TikTok tonight. The U.S. Department of Justice claims the tech giant collected user views on divisive social issues like gun control and abortion. The company could face a U.S. ban in a few months if it doesn't break ties with its Beijing-based parent company. CTV's Christina Tanalia on the arguments of the app being a national security threat.
TikTok. Some users are reluctantly counting down to a potential U.S. ban of the popular app. Timed with the U.S. government's latest accusations, the Department of Justice now alleging TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance, are gathering detailed information on U.S. users who view or create content on contentious social issues like gun control, abortion, and religion.
TikTok stealing our data.
Users often poke fun at the company's alleged antics. But the allegations are no joke.
The fear is when you have this type of sensitive information on particular individuals that it could be weaponized against members of the public.
It's a fear the Prime Minister shared back in May.
The concerns are that the data that TikTok collects on all of its users gets simply funneled to the government of China.
Justin Trudeau says Canada will wait to see how TikTok responds in its dispute with the U.S. The Liberals banned TikTok on government-issued devices in February 2023.
What data TikTok collects and why.
The app has promoted its data and privacy regulations on its official account page.
We also collect information on how you use the app, like how you interact with the video, along with your device and network information.
When you click the I agree button, what are you actually agreeing to? And to what extent the data gets collected, to how it gets used and how it gets shared? That is the big question mark.
U.S. government lawyers argue TikTok and ByteDance used an internal web system to share and store sensitive user information, with the Justice Department warning the Chinese government could use that data to secretly manipulate the app's algorithm to shape the content that users see.
The president is now on TikTok,
creating concerns for lawmakers about disinformation and foreign interference ahead of November's election. The new court documents are the U.S. government's first major defense in its dispute against TikTok, which could be banned in the U.S. in a few months if the app doesn't break ties with its parent company. The app has repeatedly denied that it shares users' information with China or that it manipulates what users see. Heather.
Christina Tanalia for us tonight. Thanks. And still ahead, thousands gather in celebration of First Nations culture. Community and culture are on full display this weekend at the largest powwow in southern Alberta. It's bringing together thousands of people from across North America. Here's CTV's Tyler Barrow.
The CTV Nation powwow was at the Redwood Meadows Fairground. The powwow brings people together and some people home. Gina Callio is here with her children to watch them dance. She grew up on CTV Nation.
Love the people here and well, the country's beautiful.
They are two of more than 600 dancers. The annual celebration has been happening for over 60 years.
Welcoming our friends and our neighbors in to participate with us in our traditions.
There is also a rodeo featuring more than 500 riders. Organizers say it's one of the largest Indigenous rodeos in Canada. The three-day powwow provides the nation with a big economic boost.
Every year it's growing, it's bigger and bigger every year, so we need to maintain a healthy growth plan.
It's estimated between 8,000 and 10,000 people will attend, including Simon Paul and his family from nearby Meneathny.
We come out here to enjoy the celebration here, the dancing.
And Ian De Beer, originally from South Africa, but now calls Canada home.
It's unreal, like so many different costumes. People are so pleasant, and yeah, no, it's just mind-boggling.
Organizers say it takes more than 200 people to help make the powwow a success. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Redwood Meadows.
Some unique and expensive rides took over a Toronto street today. The Dream Wheels on Eglinton car show features a wide array of vintage hot rods, muscle cars and motorcycles. A dream come true for many car enthusiasts. And we have another unique car story after the break. A dream gift for Dad brings back old memories. We leave you tonight with a priceless family moment and a nostalgic trip back to childhood. The loss of a dream car inspired a son to surprise his dad with a gift he always wanted to win back. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
Like the objects in this mirror, this father and son are closer than they appear, thanks to one specific car.
It was my dad's dream, and he always wanted this 1985 Supra.
A dream Dale Rattan finally realized the same week he welcomed his son, Dallin.
This was perfect.
As Dallin grew up, the car helped him develop a work ethic.
Washing the wheels on the Supra, we had to get into every little nook and cranny.
And transported him to happy childhood memories.
Where we'd go out and get ice cream. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Until that night, Dale was driving home from work.
And I was hit.
The car was T-boned, spun into oncoming traffic, and hit by a second car.
Got knocked out, came to.
While Dale was treated for broken teeth and a concussion, the Supra was written off, and Dale never saw it again.
My dream car was gone, but I was okay. I was alive.
And the moment he knew his dad would be okay, Dallin made a private promise to himself.
I had committed to building my dad his car again. I wasn't going to let it go. I don't give up on things.
The then 15-year-old started saving his money, learning how to fix cars, and a decade later found a Supra just like his dad's in a barn a province away.
It needed a lot of work, and I said, well, I'll do the work. It's worth it to give him this vehicle and surprise him.
What is that? That's my Supra.
After spending 13 years and thousands of hours rebuilding and refurbishing in secret...
What? Yeah, that's yours. That's my car.
Dallin gave his dad a second chance to realize his dream.
Yeah. It's worth it to show others that you love them before it's too late.
But ultimately, this father and son say, this is about love.
It feels great, yeah. And to have my son beside me, it's a beautiful thing, and I love him for it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
Priceless gift. That's our newscast. I'm Heather Butts. For all of us at CTV National News, thank you for watching. Good night, and I'll see you again tomorrow.